This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so let's get started from where we left off yesterday. So yesterday we were discussing or we were understanding how the HTTP requests generally work, right? So we will continue from there and we'll try to understand it further with some examples and all. And then what we will do is yesterday we couldn't start on it. So today we will do that. We will be seeing how um, how we can create script in JMeter, a basic one for HTTP requests, and how to run a test in a high level way, and even how JMeter setup you need to do. Okay, so those things we will try to understand. So yesterday was some serious topics which we spoke. So today I thought, okay, let me take some important topics from JMeter so that we have a balance. Okay, so let me share my screen. Yeah, let me know if my screen is visible to all.
It's visible.
Yeah, and my voice is okay, right?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's get started. Okay. So, what are the ways, basically, you can, like, what are the status codes you see generally? That's what we saw yesterday, right? So, we will continue from there. We will understand further what is actually a body of a request. Okay. When we have a request, the body of a request is very, very important to understand. Okay. What it is and what's the significance of that. Okay, so, that's what we will try to understand today. Okay, so let's try to understand that. And
Oh,
any questions
Vishnu,
anyone
sorry
has
for
from yesterday's session?
interrupting you.
Yeah,
Vishnu, sorry for interrupting you. Your voice
yeah.
volume is coming little less, Vishnu, compared to
Oh,
Link.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, Vishnu. For me, its voice is very low.
Yeah. Let me check. Is it better now?
no, same,
How is it now?
same Vishnu.
Oh, is it too low?
Yeah, now it is little better. Yes,
Okay. Maybe my
but
mic.
still it is not like yesterday. Not.
Okay, okay. Let me see. What about what? Is it okay?
No, no, same value we are hearing.
Now.
Actually, for
Yeah,
me, it's okay. But
yeah, okay, okay, kind of, but not that clear and not that high value.
Is it for everyone this issue?
no, Vishnu. For me,
For
it's fine.
Okay,
for me
fine.
also
So
it's
Also,
fine.
it is fine.
To increase their volume as I think.
okay, okay. Right, right. Then I think Pradeep, maybe little bit you can increase the volume.
Yeah, I was in, okay, I'm in top
Yeah,
100%, but
yeah.
yeah, maybe some problem.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, right. So we will start from where we left off yesterday. We were discussing about request. So we saw the request URL, then what's a request method, and we also saw the status code. What's the status code? The remote address, referrer policy. Referrer policy is generally more sort of like some policies which we give in the request, and generally they don't play much of a significance. I mean, like as per the security is concerned, you have to pass these. It's not that you should ignore that, but it doesn't, I mean, like means, so okay, so let's try to understand maybe what it is. Okay, see, this referrer policy is basically from where generally it will matter. It's more sort of like a signature from where it is coming. Okay, like it's a feature in like generally web development and all that governs like how much information is sent in the referrer header, we say. Okay, so what it is, so for example, let's say here we have strict origin when cross origin. Okay, so the meaning of this is uh, like full referrer is sent or only the origin should be https to http. So Yeah, that's what. So this is a little complicated thing. You might not, and it's not required at this stage to understand also. Basically, this is for the development side, right? When they set it up. So generally for sites where the it should be very safe and all. Okay, like the security wise, they have this, and more sort of it works on the principle of referrer. So if you see this request header here, there will be a referrer here. See this one. Okay, so the referrer policy means like this referrer, whatever I give here, the referrer policy strict origin when
Vishnu, your voice is very low again. It's becoming very low.
yeah, let me see, maybe some mic issue. Better now?
Yeah, yes, Vishnu. No, it's better.
Okay, yeah, now I've kept it very close. Okay, right. So now what we, so this this strict origin when cross origin, so referral policy is basically from where your request is coming and what like is it secure or not, right? So more sort of that. So generally you have to follow this referral policy automatically. When you are recording, it will come. Okay, you don't need to do anything separately for this. Okay. Then next let's come to payload and headers. There are two
Vishnu,
things.
here like a remote address is something related to DNS address or it's a different again.
No, no. Remote address actually means more sort of it's like the client or the server that is, yeah, what you said is correct. More sort of like external address, right? What you have, that the same thing. But if you see this Amazon, okay, let me go to Amazon. Let me open Amazon and I'll do an inspect element. I started the recording, right? Yeah, okay. So this Amazon, if I see, if I go to the network and if I just go to the this one. So if you see here, see all these are the IP address from where it is coming, right? So for example, when I'm entering Amazon.com, this remote address it is showing this one. Now can you say what this address will be? See, it cannot be one IP or one CPU for Amazon, right? Amazon will require a lot of CPUs. So this IP address will be of what? Any guess?
Remote IP.
That is true. See, what I'm saying is there will be multiple, like let's say 20,
think
30
maybe
systems. So this IP will be of which system out of it?
yeah, yeah, it might be
VPN.
enterprise
Maybe virtual network.
service.
Uh, See, again, maybe I will put it this way. See, my application is actually served by, let's say, 10 or whatever, 50 CPUs. And each CPU has a different IP. Okay. So what IP is this thing? Like of what?
Virtual box or VPN.
Yesterday we saw regarding that. What was it?
Load balancer, I think.
Yeah, exactly. The load balancer or the middleware, any of this. Okay. So this IP address will be of the load balancer. So that load balancer, from load balancer, everything will get distributed, right? So this IP will be of the load balancer where my request will go and hit for the first time, or even the middleware, whichever, right? Now coming to
So if
coming to the
load balancer is not there, then default it would come to the backend some IP address
yes,
or
correct, correct. Yes, exactly. Okay. So now let's come to request headers. If someone is not speaking, can they go on mute? I can see some noise. Uh, Sahana, your video is on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Right. Uh, am I audible, Sahana? Yeah. Yeah. So, Sahana, how are you feeling the sessions? Like, are you able to grasp things? Is there any difficulty? Yesterday, actually, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I'm able to understand the things whatever you are explaining.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
That's good.
really,
Yeah.
really positive.
Because if whatever I am explaining now you're understanding, then going ahead things will be simple only. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So that's
And
why I just asked.
in performance testing with JMeter, the coding is not necessary.
No, not at all. It's a zero code, right? You don't need to do coding at all. It's just a tool which you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I
Okay.
have one more doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah, only performance testing is enough to grab all the job switching and all.
Yeah, yes, yes, because performance testing is a role, no? It's a
Hmm.
overall role. So whatever you will apply will be for that performance testing role only.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Even I can maybe what you do, no, right? Like once you are ready for applying jobs and all, you can send out your resume to me. Okay, I can
Okay.
help you. I can help you to tweak it out.
The thing is, I have 2 years of experience, but not in performance testing.
That
That's
is
I'm
fine.
bit
Yeah, that's
scared.
fine. Not a problem. No one will ask you that, right? Only thing is that you should have that proper knowledge of performance testing, which is expected maybe for 3 years or 4 years, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So uh, let's get continue. Okay, from where we were going. So now let's see. Now till now we saw regarding this area, the general area. Now let's come to the request headers and payload, which is very very important. Request headers are very very important. They actually cover more sort of like a authorization and some critical things, okay, related to request, like what encoding it is, what language it will accept, whether caching is there, whether the connection has to be kept alive for a longer duration, how if cookies are there. So all those things will be in the request header. So even if you miss like some headers, like your request will not pass. Okay, some might be optional. For example, this user agent and all, sometimes without that also your request will work. But let's say if there are some accept encoding, if you don't put this, your request will not work. So what is accept encoding? Generally, accept encoding is basically what type of request or what type of response you might get, right? You're informing the browser so that browser can be ready for that, right? Is it a JSON? Is it a so that what encoding it is, right? So that you are getting from this. So request headers are very important to be considered. And next important one is the payload. Payload is nothing but it is the body. Okay. So body is like, for example, whatever you are sending to the server. Like let's say I'm logging in, then I send the username password to the server, right? Similarly, whatever you are sending to the server, you send through the body, and that is payload or body we say. Okay. So these are the some important components inside an HTTP request. Okay. So before I move on to JMeter, okay, let me quickly in 10 minutes give an overview of what do we mean by an SSL certificate, right? Till now we spoke about HTTP. What is this HTTPS or what is this all the secure line, right? That let's try to understand. Okay, it's very very important us to understand and very easy way we will understand in quick 10 minutes. Okay, so let's try to understand that. So how many of you are aware what's SSL? What do you mean by SSL? Anyone?
Secure shell.
Uh, Secure shell. Can you elaborate?
Secure shell means it will
Yeah, I
used in
understood what you're saying. No, I got your point, but can you explain how SSL is connected to secure shell?
I
Any ideas?
don't know. Secure shell uses port to connect with
Hmm.
other IPs or networks. Some
Yeah.
ports
Hmm.
mm,
Any other
use, and
answers?
especially we are having so many ports. Some only this port is able to log in,
Hmm.
give permission to access the other systems. Some ports will not have that much access, but secure ports will give it that access, I think.
Okay. Any other answers? Anything else? Anyone?
Generally, encryption and decryption happens using public and private key they exchange from sender to receiver. That's how HTTPS works.
Okay. Anything? Any other? Any other answers?
Sorry, Vishnu, I missed the point. So you're asking about the port or
No,
SSL?
I'm speaking about what's the meaning of when I say
Uh,
SSL.
uh,
What is your understanding?
okay, SSL is socket security layer. So where
Hmm.
we see the all, what we say, access controls and all will be validated there. whether the request is secure to serve or not. I hope that is my
Okay, right.
understanding.
Okay, so let me explain this in a more fundamental way. See, all this SSL, 256-bit encryption, and all those have follow one same principle. Okay, so let me explain you the principle of encryption. What is this encryption all about, right? Let's try to understand with an example. Okay, and it's a beautiful example. Okay, let's say Pradeep is here, and let's say Sahana is here, and let's say we have Krishna also. Okay, now Pradeep is sending, let's say, 100 kg of gold to Sahana. Okay, and Sahana is in US. Okay, Pradeep is in India. Now Pradeep is sending it with Krishna. Okay, Krishna is the carrier actually, who is carrying it, or a delivery guy. Okay, who is carrying this 100 kg gold to Sahana. He's delivering it. Okay. Now my question to all of you is, this 100 kg gold. Let's say, okay, not 100 kg, maybe not realistic in this case. Let me put 10 kg. Now this 10 kg gold, what Pradeep will do is, let's say it's in a briefcase. My question to all of you is, will Pradeep send it with Krishna to Sahana without locking the briefcase? Will he
No.
send? No. So there will be a lock. Okay. So what Pradeep will do is, he will lock it. Okay. So my lock will be there. Now this is going to Sahana. Okay. But what the problem Sahana will face when she gets that gold?
She must
She
be
need
has
a
key.
lock to open that. She need the
But
lock
she
to.
doesn't have the key, right, to open the lock.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
locked. Now let's assume this lock is unbreakable, and let's say the lock is not a number lock. It's, let's say, 100 years back or 120 years back. This is happening, okay, and it's unbreakable lock. There's no machine and all. Now this is a puzzle, right? Right, because Pradeep cannot send the briefcase without a lock. Maybe Krishna might take 1 or 2 kgs out of it, and he will put some what is that called, colored gold, and give it to Sahana. Or else what will happen? Maybe Krishna might sleep off in the airport. Some other guy might take some gold and put that in name of Krishna. Anything can happen without the lock, right? Now the problem with lock is Sahana doesn't have the key. Now what I will have to do, either I can do some ways, maybe key I can send with some other person, lock with some other person. But what, maybe again the problem is, they might create a deal with each other, right? Krishna will deal with that key guy, and they will go somewhere. So are you all getting the problem statement here?
Yes.
So what is the solution to this?
So he must be Pradeep has sent the key locker key to Sahana before sending the briefcase.
Okay, next, any other answers? Yeah, that's a good answer. Yes. Okay, any other answers?
Both should contain the same key.
Okay, any more creative answers?
Yeah.
Or
See,
Sahana should be able to. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
yeah. So he must be add some algorithm to open the key
Okay,
briefcase.
this is 120 years back. Okay, so no software and all. Okay, let's assume.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. Okay, let it coming, let it flowing. Some ideas. It's good to hear. Okay, let's play around. Yeah, come on. More ideas. Anything? Okay. So let me put one common simple idea to this. Okay, the solution to this. Okay. Now what I will do is, now what Pradeep will do is, he will send this 10 kg gold with Krishna by putting a lock. Okay. Sahana will receive it. Now, what Sahana will do is, Sahana is a very, like Sahana and Pradeep are actually a genius in like let's say solving a puzzle. So what they do is, Sahana will put one another lock. let's say L2, and send it back to Pradeep. Now what Pradeep will do, he will remove his lock L1 because he has the key to L1, right? Then send the briefcase back to Sahana. Sahana will open L2. So is my briefcase opened or not? Now, are you getting the question? Are you getting the answer?
Yeah,
So,
it is
overall
open,
journey.
but
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, but unnecessary we are making the traffic, right? If it is
Yeah.
Saharan,
But do you know this is happening in your WhatsApp every day, every message you send.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Mm,
happening in your WhatsApp, it's happening in your banking servers, it's happening in your
mm,
SSL traffic, everywhere.
mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So now, okay, this example, is it clear to all? Then I will come to how it happens in WhatsApp and all.
Yes, yes, it is clear.
Okay. Right. Now, is it clear to all that lock issue is solved and Krishna can never take that gold because the briefcase is locked in the whole journey. There is nowhere where the briefcase is left opened. Is I hope that is clear to all, right? So Krishna can never take the gold in between. Now, obviously, if Krishna is a good lock breaker, or if he can break the briefcase and all, yes, he can. And that is the work of a hacker in our real world. Okay, but generally, a normal guy cannot, right? So let's try
Right.
to understand now the same thing with the, let's say, a WhatsApp example or encryption, which happens in the online. So what happens is, in online, there are two things. One is your private key and yours public key. Okay. So public key is more sort of like your lock. Private key, I'm just putting private here, is more sort of like your key. So now what happens with this private key and public key is, in every machine or in every system, right, there will be a private key and a public key. Okay. So let's say Pradeep and Sahana are chatting, okay, on WhatsApp. Now, what will happen is, Krishna is standing here. Let's say Krishna is someone who wants to listen to or who wants to tap into what Pradeep and Sahana are speaking to each other. Or let's say they are speaking about some project which they are going to implement in their office. Now Krishna wants to know what that project is so that he can maybe take that project, okay, or maybe he will get some idea of that project from him. So Krishna is waiting for that. Now what WhatsApp guys do is, now let's say Pradeep is sending the message. Now if Pradeep sends this message without any encryption or without any lock, bare message in internet, Krishna can directly hack into it, and just what he will do is he will bypass. So the messages will go and come, but it will go through Krishna, actually, Krishna's message or Krishna's software. Okay, there are some ways to do that. So what he will be able to read all the messages. Though it will reach Sahana, Pradeep will be also able to send the message, but he will see a small message lag, which anyways normal people cannot make out. Okay, why the lag is? That means someone is reading in between. Okay, or logging, right? Whatever. So what is the solution to this? What WhatsApp does is, now Pradeep has a public key, private key. Sahana has a public key, private key. Okay. So when first message of Pradeep goes to Sahana, that message will be encrypted using public key. Okay, so what is encryption is nothing but simple. Whatever your public key will be there, right? And let's say your message is there something in bits. That bits will get, encoded or get scrambled using this public key. Now only WhatsApp can open it. And how the WhatsApp will be able to open it? Only with the private key combination. So that's how this encryption generally works. Okay. Now coming to this. So what Pradeep's message WhatsApp will do? It will add Pradeep's public key and send it to Sahana. Sahana, then what will happen is, as before she reads that message, that Pradeep to Sahana communication which is happening, public key will get added Sahana's and send it back to Pradeep. Now what will happen? Now Pradeep has the private key, his private key. So this message, that public key, Pradeep will open. Now only Sahana's public key will be there remaining in the message. Now that will go again to Sahana and she will open the private key using private key that message. Now what will happen is actually the communication channel between Pradeep and Sahana has become totally encrypted. That's why in your WhatsApp you will get a message now your message is being encrypted or 256-bit encryption, right? You'll get a message. So that is how things happen. Now whatever communication will happen between them will be safe and secure. Till when? Till you regenerate this key. That's why sometimes when you change a number and all, you will get a message that their key has changed. Do you get that message? Has anyone observed? Key got changed or some messages you will get in WhatsApp. Clear all of you?
No.
Okay, which part is not clear?
Yeah, it's clear only.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. So that's how the encryptions work. Now this same concept will be applicable to anywhere, even web requests, server to browser communication. There we have HTTPS. Again in HTTPS also we have public key, private key. So everywhere is public key, private key combination will be there. Yeah, any doubts anyone till now? Is it clear? So now what's an SSL?
Yes, yes, Vishnu.
Yeah, okay. I am getting a lot of silence, so I thought, is it
So
really clear?
Vishnu, sorry, I have a question. So this SSL will happen before the middle layer, right?
Okay, so your question is who will be adding this encryption or who is taking care of this? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the actually your encryption engine, right?
Mm,
Every server will have an SSL engine.
correct.
Okay, so that SSL engine will take care of it. And
So that
generally,
means
once you
each.
generate your certificate, so for example,
Mm,
generally once you generate your certificate, it will have a validity. Okay,
okay.
after that it will expire and again. So see, now again this private key and public key. My now one more problem is there in when you're dealing with the network. Whatever key and lock you are using, who will
Mm-hmm.
validate that it is proper one or not?
Correct.
Right? Because
Yeah.
Pradeep can have different key, Ajit can have different key. Let's say Pradeep is using key from let's say some company, Ajit is using key from some other companies, and maybe Ajit's lock is not that strong, right?
Correct.
Then how Pradeep will make sure that communication that is happening with Ajit is proper? So that's why we have companies for that also, right? SSL
Mhm.
generally you will have heard this Let's Encrypt. It's
Okay.
a it's a common SSL provider, right? There are a lot of SSL providers. Similarly, encryption provider. Now, WhatsApp encryption is actually provided by WhatsApp itself, right? So, so even for that lock and key also there are providers, third party. Okay. So when you are doing it in your website, you have to install that software. Let's Encrypt is a free software, like an open source for SSL. There are paid ones also. Clear, all of you? So SSL itself is a software actually which you install in your server, in your web server. Yeah, any doubts, anyone till now? So now
No,
next
Vishnu.
question. Which one will be faster, HTTP or HTTPS?
HTTP.
Yes, exactly. HTTP will be faster because HTTPS you already saw, right? It's doing some extra journey and also that extra layer of encryption it is checking every time. So there will be a small latency or lag. Okay, and that will be always there. Okay, so if you're using an SSL, a little bit of performance degradation you will see, but that's not a degradation. We have to do that. It's a necessity. I hope all of you are clear, right?
Yeah.
So any doubts? Anyone has any queries till now? So if someone
That
now
means
asks
Vishnu,
you, yeah,
that means this SSL will happen on each and every application server or web server for each and every request. That's what you are saying, right?
even caching is also there. It's not that every request has to do this. Once, let's
Okay.
say Pradeep and Ajit communication got established, it will store it in
Uh,
the cache. So it doesn't
Okay.
need to every time validate that it is coming from correct one or not. It will cache for some
Okay.
time, then again it will regenerate. So that will keep happening. In WhatsApp also, it's not that every time your encryption is checked, right? It will check only
Hmm.
after some time, some events, that only they know. Okay, they will not
Correct.
reveal. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But definitely it will be done from backend, not from the
Yes, yes.
front line.
No, correct. Backend server.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So now let's jump into JMeter. Okay. So let's try now what we understood what's an HTTPS request is, what's a protocol, what are different status codes and all. Now we'll try to understand how I can create a basic test plan in JMeter and try to hit a server request using JMeter, not the browser. Okay, so let's try to understand that in a very quick way. So to understand this, I will use a method called CURL method, or even we will build a request manually. Okay, we'll understand that before I jump into recording an end-to-end flow. We will understand how we can build a test plan manually before we can use some recording principles and all. Okay, so that we will build a test plan manually. Before that, we will also understand how we need to set up JMeter, right, which is very important. So let me start with, see, now JMeter is actually a Java based application. So the only prerequisite to install JMeter is your JDK. So you should have a JDK installed, Java. Uh, Better if you have some like which a version which is not older than 6 months. Okay, you should have it installed, the Java. The next is you need to just directly download JMeter and use it. So let me explain you that. Okay, in step by step. First of all, I will go to my browser. Here, let me enter JDK. Okay, when you enter JDK, you will land onto these pages. So what you need to do is just open Java downloads, the first thing. In that, just go to JDK 21. Why I go to 21 is 23 is the latest one. So I generally prefer a step below that. In any software, I do this because generally I believe that if there is not a lot of delay between two releases, better to take one which is little older so that it will be more stable. Okay, that's the reason. But you can go with JDK 23 also. JMeter will work. Okay, I will go with JDK 21. Now, if I come based on the system you are in, Linux, Mac, Windows, you have to download the version. Let's say if I'm on Windows, then based on what I mean, like what you can do is you can click on this installer, x64 installer, click on that and download it. So it will get downloaded. Once that is downloaded, what you need to do is you need to run that. You just need to execute it. Okay. Now, if already your system has JDK, you don't need to download this thing or install anything. Okay. So I'll explain how to check whether your system has Java installed or not. So for now, in my case, already Java is installed, so I'm not installing it. I'm not. I mean, like I'll not click on install. Yeah, I think it's already started. It's fine. Okay, let it get installed. I have one version, anyways, installed. Now let me go to command prompt parallelly. Now here, let me enter Java version. Okay, if your Java is installed, you will get an output to this. Okay, now if you see one Java is there already installed in my system, which is around Java 19, which is already installed. Okay, but I can set up a new one also based on my need. Okay, if Java is not there, you will not get any output. Okay, it will be more sort of like command like not found or some message you will get like that. Okay, right. Once the setup is done, right? Once your installation is complete, Okay, just close it. Now come to your folder here. Just go to this PC. Just getting used to this Windows 11. Still, I'm not that expert. Okay, where is this PC? Okay, and in that, just go to local disk C. Now in there, just go to program files and okay, no, normal program files. Okay, go there, and there will be a Java folder, right? Just go inside that, and you might, if you have two versions, you might see two. Okay, just go inside whichever version you want. Okay, go to bin, copy this path fully. Okay, now enter environment variables. This will come. Okay, just click on edit the system environment variables. This dialog box will open. Click on environment variables. So two things will come: system variable, user variables. Okay, so you need to add the path in both user and system. Generally I do that. Okay, so how do I? So what you need to do is first click on new in user variables. Okay, click on new. Variable name you give Java home. Now this step is very important. Okay, because if you give it here, then only when you enter in the command prompt that Java version will come, otherwise it will not. Okay, so and variable name Java home, variable value you give it not till bin, only till that JDK 19 or whatever. Don't give bin. Okay, only till JDK 19 or whichever version you have, right? Give it and give OK. So it will appear here. See, like this. Similarly, do it for system also. Click on new Java home, paste the variable without bin, okay, and give OK, and it will appear here. And then give OK. That's all. So you add in the both places and give OK, right? And give OK. Now after this, what you do is just go back to CMD again. Just open it. Again, you enter Java version. So that version should be visible now. Okay, whatever. If you see, I installed latest 21, right? So now it's visible now. Okay. Now my question next is, first step is done, right? We have installed Java, the JDK. Second step is now installing or downloading JMeter. How do I do that? So just search JMeter. Just click on this Apache JMeter, the first link. Now here, click on this download releases. Click on that. And if you scroll down, you will find binaries, right? Not source, binaries. Okay, in the binaries, download the zip one. Just click on this zip. So the zip file will get downloaded. Once that is done, go to that folder wherever you downloaded. I will copy this to my desktop. Let's say I will create a folder, create a new folder. JMeter classes. Now in that JMeter classes folder in desktop, I will paste it. Now I'm purposefully using desktop because generally desktops don't have any access restrictions and all. But when you do it in the C drive and all, right, sometimes you might face some access restrictions and all. So you can create in the desktop for now, okay, to be sure that you don't have any access restrictions for now. Now after this, just right click and extract it. Once the extraction is complete, you have to go inside that folder, go to bin. Now, if you scroll down, just sort it with type, okay? Just you scroll down, you will have, based on what system you are in, right? You have to use the file. If you are in Ubuntu or Mac, it's a different way. For Windows, it is JMeter, this one, the Windows batch file. Okay. Now, if you're using Ubuntu, okay, go with JMeter shell script. Okay. Now, and even for your Mac also, that will work. Okay. And there is one more, I mean, like you can execute this jar file also in your Ubuntu and I mean like all these machines. Okay, jar file is directly Java file, so you can install it. But generally, it's always best way to run JMeter using these batch files and the shell scripts. Okay, so let me run Windows batch file JMeter. Now I'll explain why I run using Windows batch file when we do some test and all. There is a real reason behind it that we don't execute it using the jar file but using the batch file. That I'll explain with an example when we reach that point, okay? This one you should minimize. If you close this black screen, your JMeter will also get closed, okay? Now, this is where your JMeter dashboard will look like for the first time. So let me little zoom in so that it becomes little bigger things. Yeah, so any doubts anyone till now, till this point? Any queries? So no installation is required for JMeter. You just need to run that file. I hope all of you observed that, right? I didn't install JMeter anywhere. I'm just extracting, running. If Java is
Correct.
there, it will run. It will work. There's no installation required. So actually, if you see, there is no office restrictions and all that will actually block it because there's no installation at
Oh,
all required.
yeah,
If
correct.
if Java is there, it will run. Yeah. Any doubts? Anyone?
No, Vishnu. So I will try installing, doing this tomorrow
Yes.
maybe,
Yeah.
and get back to you if I face any
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
So you mean to say in even in office or laptop also I can do this, right?
Yes. Yes. You can.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Now, next thing is let's try to understand. I mean, like how to run a basic request in JMeter. Okay. So to do that, first of all, I will now this time I am doing it manually. Okay. Manually means like how I can create things without recording. There's something called recording. We will see it soon. But before that, how I can quickly create one request. Let's say one request is there. Let's say in Postman or somewhere. How I can create it manually and run it. Right. So for that to get that basic structure, okay, what I will do is in templates we have a lot of structures already JMeter has given us. Okay, so I will use one simple structure, simple HTTP request structure. Okay, click on that, click create. Now here, what I'll do is I'm just opening some website. So I'll give it as a get method, which I'm going to try it out. And URL, what I will do is whichever I'm going to test. Like for example, let me open some random application like Blaze demo or even ours also. But for now, let's try with this. This one we tried already, right? So let's go with this. Let me go to the home page of it. Okay, so let's put this. Oh, is it mine?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, can you please increase the font size? We are unable to see the text here.
My system font size or which one?
Your voice is very low, Vishnu.
Yeah, actually, please go on mute. Who is speaking because there is background noise.
Vishnu can't hear you, Vishnu. Like your
Is
voice
my
is
voice
very
clear
low.
now? Now okay?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah. Okay, right. So let me, yeah, I will increase the font size. Sure, sure. And JMeter is visible to all, right? But any problem here?
Yeah, for me, Vishnu, there I don't see any problem. It is clear to me.
Okay, okay, right, right. I will increase the font size of my overall system also. No issues. I might be like I'm using a smaller one. I'll increase it. Okay, soon. Now click on create. So I pasted the URL, method is get. So how did I get the method? Again, I'm showing, I go to inspect, I'll go to network, and here just click on doc. This is very important, doc. Okay, click this to clear anything if it is there here. Okay, and then just reload. So this request will come here. It's a get method, right? So that's why I gave get here. URL, I pasted the same thing. Okay, this content type you can keep it same, no need to change for now. Okay, that is more sort of based on your what content you are in. Generally web services, this will work. Okay, so click create. So once you click create, that will get created. So see, some user defined variable, view results tree, and these things got, I mean, like added, right, automatically, and some body and all. Now let's come to the HTTP request what we have here and header. So now what we need to do now, based on this application what we are testing, we need to put the headers and the body. Now in this case we don't have a body, right? That's why you're not seeing a payload. Are you seeing an option payload here? No. Able to
No,
see? Yeah, because it's a
no.
get request. We don't need to send anything to server. We are just requesting the main landing page. That's why you're not seeing a body. But if I click on this find flights, no,
Yeah,
see
payload will
body
come.
came, right? Because I have sent the from and to, right? Which port to which port that server
Oh,
needs, right? To find the flight. So that's why see in the payload now that has come, which was not there in the starting index page, right? So, okay, let me reload it. Now this is a request, right? Now again, there are request headers and all which you can again put if you want. Some, as I said, sometimes it is required all the headers you have to put. Otherwise, generally without headers also things will work. Okay. Now the problem with headers is you have to add them manually, right? Which is very difficult, right? One after another. So that's why we have a method called CURL method, because it's far more easier to get the headers and all in that way. So for that, what you need to do is right click and copy as curl bash. Now what you do is go to tools, click on import from curl, paste it, and create test plan. So automatically if you see, one extra HTTP request came right at the bottom, and this one if you clearly see header and all, automatically it will be already loaded. But here it is not there, right? You have to do it manually. You have to add like this one after another, which is a very difficult task. If your headers are only 2 3, you can do it. Okay, not a problem. But if it's more than that, then it's a difficult task, right? So use a curl method. This one I will delete, which is not required now. So I'll just remove. Now all these things I explain in detail. Okay, now here just we are seeing to get a feel of how we run a test in a basic request. Okay, right. Now the next thing is the server name and IP. So automatically the path it's given URL. So if you go to this user defined variable here, it's a variable actually. Okay, that's why the URL is here. Automatically the URL is taken from here. So that's why this all this parameterization, correlation, all these things we will see. Okay, once we proceed. Okay. Right. So now automatic server name, now that parameter we haven't used, right? We have directly given the value, path, get, HTTPS. Now let me run this once and see if things are proper. Now if everything is proper, your request will work. Okay. So in the results tree, you can see whether my request was properly gone, like it went or not. So I can see the request details here. If I click on request body, request headers I can see, and response similarly, response body, response headers I can see. Now if you see the response body, this is the response body in the HTML format. And if I want it in a, let's say, little bit of browser way, I want to see, just visualize it. This is little heavy. Your JMeter might get stuck. Okay, if your application is, sorry, yeah, some voice. Yeah. So generally, if it is like if your application is very heavy on the HTML5, then yeah, it will not be visible here. Okay, and that's why the HTML format is what we generally always use, the text one. But for some applications it might come. Okay, so text format is nothing but the same thing whatever we are seeing here. If you see, are you seeing choose your destination city? Able to see the same thing? choose your destination city. See, the same body. What here? So our request is actually successful. If you compare it with the response, see this is the response what we got from the website. Let me copy it and put it to a node file. Okay, and what I will do is I will take the response which I got from JMeter and put it in the new file. Now let's compare both of them. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to plugin compare, set as first to compare, then second one plugins compare, and I'll click compare. So see, files new one and new two to match. Are you seeing this dialog box?
Yes.
So this new one is from my browser, right? When I hit the same request through browser, this is the response I got. This is the response I got from JMeter. Both are matching. So what does it mean? That my script is properly working. Are you clear, all of you?
Yes. Yeah.
Any doubts, anyone till now? Just raise your hands who all are clear till now. Just raise your hands. I want to see how many of you are clear till now. Okay, Dilip, Kanaya, Devesh. Please raise your hands. Sampath. Okay. Sahana, Hari, Ajit. What about you all? Rohit is okay. Raghu. Urvika, what about you? All good? Yeah, right. Yes.
Yes, it's
Okay. So I feel most of you are clear with this, right? What step I did. So my responses are matching. So my JMeter script is working good. So I'll just change the name for now. Okay, I'll just put Blaze demo launch so that we can identify it. And also I will add one more listener here called a summary report. I'll explain all these elements also. What's a thread, config element listener, timer, post processor, pre-processor assertions, all these things, what they are, we will discuss in very detail, okay? And different elements in these also. For example, for now, just I'm putting a summary report. Now what I'll do now, I will run the test for, let's say around 60 seconds. I'll just run the test for 60 seconds. So my test is running. And if you see the average, what you see here is your average response time in milliseconds. Okay, then similarly minimum response time, maximum response, see some requests might go little ahead, some might go little minimum, right? The average is the average of those, the minimum and max, right? Then standard deviation is basically a mathematical concept, not that much required at this stage, but generally you should have, if your system is more stable, your standard deviation will be little low. Okay, it won't be very high. And error percentage, if any errors, right? If 500 internal server, some errors are coming, that will be visible in error percentage. Throughput,
What
I
is
will
mean by samples, Vishnu? Samples means iterations.
no, yeah, you can say iteration. So how many requests we send to the server, count,
Okay.
okay,
Hmm.
in that specific time in 1 minute. So if you see in 1 minute, 154
Hmm.
times I have opened that landing page, okay, in
Hmm.
1 minute. So that's what you're seeing per second. How many I have opened? 2.6. Right? If you see in 1 minute, I ran the test for 1 minute, right? In 1 minute, 154 times I have opened the uh, the landing page. So in 1 second, almost 2.6, right? That is the
Yes.
throughput, 2.6 per second. And this is the network, right? Like how much kbps I am using for that request. Average bytes, like how much bytes I am sending and receiving, that detail. Now let's do one thing. Okay, let me take a screenshot of it. This is the result for one user. Okay, I haven't given more users, just one user. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll increase the user count to 10 and I will run the test for the same 1 minute. Now observe what is happening. Okay, so this is the result which we had for one user. I'll keep it just below it. So are you seeing my samples increased? Able to see?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And are you seeing my throughput value? What is the throughput value now? What's the
100.
throughput value?
at
It was
23.7.
2.6. Now it is
Correct.
23, almost 10
Mhm.
times, right?
Correct.
My throughput has
Mhm.
increased. So what does it mean? That every second, 23 times that landing page or that first page is getting opened. Every second. It's more sort of, let's say you're
Okay.
ordering. So
Mhm.
every second, 24 orders are getting placed. Okay. If you're logging in, every second, 24 login is happening.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the meaning of this throughput, right? And similarly, if you see the response time, that also increased. Average. Able to see?
Yes.
Average has went to 409 milliseconds. And now the same thing, I mean, like, let me show you one thing, okay? The same thing. Let me run this test again. Now, what I'm doing now, when this test is running, I'm going to the website, okay? And I'm going to this performance. I'm clearing this and I'm running it again. This is when my test is running, okay? My test is running now. So I got around, let's say, the total, if you scroll down, let me go up. Total is around 2.3 seconds, the total came, okay? So now let me
Mm.
stop the test. Now what I'll do now, okay, let me take a screenshot of this first. Now again. Now I will do the same thing without running a test. That means normal load, okay? I'm just doing it again. Now this server is not in our hands, it is hosted by someone else. So there might be, it's not that very accurate results you will get, because when we are not using, someone else might also start a test. We don't know in the world, right? Yeah. But are you able to see the difference now with test and without test? With the test, my load time was 2.3 seconds. Without test, 1.5 seconds. Able to see? So how, when my user count is increasing, my load time is also increasing? Able to understand? All of you are silent. Able to get the point what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Yes, Vishnu.
Yes.
Yeah, because I ran a test in JMeter. But see, in my front end also that effect I can see when my test is running, right? That means my server is getting loaded. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Right. So that's how the effect of load on the system, right? If you increase the load, more users, it will affect the response time, throughput, and at some point, even, are you seeing the error rate? Some error percentages, the failure, 1% fail,
Yes.
right? Even failures also it might occur because your system or your server might not be able to handle that much load, right? Some connection issues, or even there might be some setting, right? Let's say your DB can handle only 100 connections. Then if you try to hit 150, obviously it will fail, right? So such things will be there. Okay, that's what the analysis will actually show later on, right? When you, after you run a test. Now this is only one request, but in your real test there will be 10, 15, and that's called end-to-end test. Starting from launch to, let's say, ordering, starting from, let's say, login to ordering, or changing an account detail. So multiple things will come. But when multiple requests come, complications will also come. It won't be this simple. Okay, so we will try to understand what are those complications, how we solve those, what are the different elements you need, and things are not always so easy, right? Things will get little complicated in terms of throughput and all, right? We will try to understand, but again, all of these things we will do using these elements only, nothing else, no coding required, right? Every elements have some things you need to put. If you put it, things will work. Like for example, this is a timer. If you put a constant timer time here, it will put a time delay. Similarly, let's say I have a controller. If I put a controller, if controller, and if I put a small variable here, dollar, whatever variable I'm defining, right? Let's say URL and all, I can use this controller. So you don't need to sit and code and all, nothing required, right? Everything is through elements only, which will be easy. Then there are plugins and some other things which we will see. Yeah. So any questions, anyone till now? Any doubts? Okay, right. So if no more doubts today, let's stop it here for today. Raghu, your doubt?
When we get a response for 200, that means the test is passed, or do we need to check any images?
Yes, we have to. Okay, that's where the assertions will come into picture. Okay, that's a very
Okay.
good question. But just by seeing the throughput, you cannot say your test is passed. You have to put proper assertions for that. Yeah, that we will see. Okay.
And one more thing, if the client says that the page should load in 3 to 5 seconds, like the time,
Mhm,
but
mhm,
if the response time is taking more time, do we have
mhm.
anything to
Yes.
tell we did not achieve the
Yeah.
response time, or we need to check the
Right. Right.
table manager?
Yeah, we have to
Vijay,
give this summary report with a proper analysis that if latency or something is there, or
కోపం
is it
చేయకురా
our
నువ్వు
issue?
కోపం చేయకు దాన్ని
Yeah, then we will have to
అది
report it
పడుకోవట్లేదు కానీ
and raise a defect.
Okay. No, but we don't have any thing to know that it has failed. It did not receive the response time.
Yes, correct. So we have to put some report and they will fix it. I mean, like in early stages, it's not that a performance tester has to fix it. Developers will fix it.
Okay.
Okay, for
Okay.
you. Yeah. Any other doubts, anyone?
Shiva, whatever we have done today, like installation, everything, do you suggest us to do this from our end?
Yes, yeah, do it. That whatever I do, do the hands-on. Then only will not forget it, right? Try to
Okay.
and finish it. I mean, like, don't delay it a lot. If I finish my
Mm.
maybe 2, 3 sessions, 4 sessions, at least by weekend, finish whatever is completed in the week. Okay, that will be always helpful. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because then only you can ask me some doubts. No, see now when
yes
I did it,
correct
it worked properly. But when you do, it
yeah
might not work. Okay, so
correct
so you have to come back with the questions. Okay.
yes
Yeah.
so we will complete this installation and try to create the same script how you do
Yeah. Yeah.
Vishnu so that we will be also hands on for
Yes,
that
yeah. Yes. That's what is expected. And please come back with questions. I expect at least 4 to 5 questions tomorrow. So let's see.
Vishnu,
Yes.
tomorrow means
Yeah,
do
Monday,
Dinesh.
right?
we
No?
Do we
Okay.
have
Sorry.
class
Yeah,
tomorrow?
Monday.
Oh.
Monday. Sorry. Yeah.
do we how do we get the video recording, Vishnu?
Yeah. Generally you get that YouTube link. No, team puts that YouTube video link. By tomorrow morning it will come, not today.
Oh,
Because
okay,
they will upload it in the tomorrow morning. So by like let's say 11, 12 and all, they generally post it. Okay. So
okay.
I think already you might be getting it in the group. Let
Yeah,
me check.
they're sending Vishnu. They're sending
Yes.
over the emails also. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
So
I
those.
just paid today, so there's
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
you need to put me on the system, I guess.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. It will take some delay because generally I am the only person who is now available. They all
Yeah,
have gone.
okay.
Mhm.
So tomorrow only it will get uploaded by the team.
No problem.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Right. Any other questions? Anyone?
Any notes on this JMeter, the summary report and the group?
Notes means you want some PDF sort of set.
No, the table we need to go through, right? All the table and content in the summary
Uh,
report, like.
so you want a note means like you want more
No,
details.
if you have any notes, can you share like what is
Yes,
sample
I
slides?
have. Okay, I have a lot of notes. Basically the PPTs and all. That I will share with you once we create that private group. No,
Okay, okay,
public
got it.
actually I'm not. Yeah. So once that is
Okay,
created, I'll share there. Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Kanaya, you had some doubt? You're raising your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, Vishnu. Vishnu, like anything related to custom coding, we like you'll be taking class on that.
Bean shell.
Only bench. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bean shell we will be covering. Like there we will see how we can do some basic scripts and all, which are very important. And I will give you some scripting tricks where again you don't need to code anything. There are some ways to do
Okay.
that where you don't need to code anything. You can generate scripts. That I will explain. Okay.
Okay, Vishnu. Thank you.
Now it is anyways the world of AI, so we can utilize that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vishnu, I just wanted to know like how many types of protocols we are going to use in this particular course.
Some 4 to 5 I will be covering.
Okay.
Rest I can share some material which you can maybe play around later on. But 4 to 5 will actually cover 90 to 95% of the projects in the world.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
great.
that's why
Thanks.
yeah. Any other doubts? Anyone? Mondeza,
Hi.
Urvika, any doubts? Rohit, all good?
No, I'm clear. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Yeah, right. And thank you all for keeping this class very active. Okay, and especially who all are really interacting with me. Thanks a lot for that, because generally I'm also tired by the end of the day, right? But these interactions keep my energy up. So thanks a lot for that, and keep asking questions like this. And meet you all tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yep.
Vishnu.
Have a good night.
Have a
Thanks,
happy
Vishnu.
weekend.
Happy
So,
weekend. Sorry, it's not tomorrow. It's on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.